Hey everybody, it's Greg Harrelson here with Century 21, the Harrelson Group, of course, as always, with my co-host Abe Safa, also with Century 21, the Harrelson Group, and we are, here to just share another Myrtle Beach real estate update, kind of give you an idea of what's going on in the local real estate market, which, of course, over the last year, we've had many of these broadcasts, and the market's just been on fire. It's been very active. It's definitely a seller's market. I think buyers are a little bit frustrated because it's such a seller's market. But we want to come to another week and just share with you what's going on with the data. So Abe will, of course, share that with us, and then also talk to you a little bit about what's going to happen in the next 45 days while we're going through the holidays. But before we jump into that, Abe, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. Great to be on here with you.
Yeah. Well, and as I said, the market's active, so I'm sure your numbers are going to show that. But Abe, we've been around this business for quite a while, and we've been through, multiple years and holiday seasons. And I'm assuming you are too, and that is, will anything really sell during the holidays? Is anybody going to even buy during the holidays, or should we wait until after the holidays? To list our property on the market. Are you hearing that yet?
Oh yeah, it's that time of year, where we get those conversations popping up for sure.
Yeah, and I think we know that when we look at data and we look at the months, each month, November, December, January, all the way through the calendar, we don't really see that much change. Now, the biggest change, I think, and I think, Abe, you know this, so you can correct me, but I think the biggest change is in the month of July. I think there's 1 month towards the summer that we do see a spike, but other than that, for the rest of the months, things are fairly equal, or the numbers are about the same. What are your thoughts on that, or can you add any insight on that?
Yes, I mean, Greg, I've been here 34 years, as you're aware, and you grew up here, so we've been here a very long time. And Myrtle Beach has really changed since I moved here back in '87. I mean, it used to be, 3 months out of the year is when everything happened, and then the rest of the year was just kind of nothing going on. But it's really becoming almost a year-round destination. Obviously, not quite as busy as the summer for like some of the touristy businesses and stuff, but as far as traffic-wise, there's a good bit of people. So when you break down the sales, real estate sales month by month, like what percentage of sales come per month? There's really not a whole lot of difference between the different months. There is a little bit of spike, May, June, and July are going to be the biggest months. But we're talking, instead of being like 6%, 7% of the whole yearly sales per 1 month, those might be, 8 or 9%, maybe 10%, I think might be the spike. So they're all going to be somewhere around the same ballpark. The only month that's kind of lower that stands out from the rest is really January. January is probably it is the slowest month. But even with that, we get 5% of our transactions in January.
Yeah.
So it's not like nothing happens. There's still going to be thousands and thousands of transactions happening, even in the slowest month of the year.
Yeah.
So it stays busy.
Yeah, I know that we're working with buyers in the office that right now that they're selling a property in another area, and they're doing a 1031 exchange. So I think we're going to see quite a few buyers buying and wanting to buy and close before the new year, because they want to satisfy the requirements of a 1031 exchange, which for those that you don't know what that means is they might be selling one investment property, want to buy another investment property, do it in this calendar year for tax purposes. So there are people out there that are buying properties right now and they want to close, even if they're not doing a 1031 exchange, they're doing it for reasons of depreciation off their taxes for the 2021 calendar year. And as soon as they go into 2022, the advantages that they have according to their accountant is not as high. So they have a motivation. So not only are those buyers motivated to buy right now, but sometimes they'll pay a few more dollars because of what they have to lose in taxes by not buying. The other thing that I want to say is who's going to buy around Christmas? The only person that's going to buy around Christmas is somebody that has to buy. Mm-hmm. So the tire kickers around Thanksgiving through Christmas, the tire kickers, the lookers, the window shoppers, they're too busy dealing with holidays, so they're really not looking at properties. The people that are looking at properties around the holidays, usually they have a job relocation. They want to move during the holidays because they're transferring kids from a school. So there's a motivation there to get it done immediately. So even though that maybe December, maybe January, there could be a slight decrease in sales, the number of showings that you have to deal with in order to get your property sold is decreased. So the inconvenience is less during the holiday season. So there's plenty of buyers out there, and they're going to continue to be buying all throughout the holiday season. That's the main thing that I want to share with everybody.
Yeah, let me point out something else, Greg. I always tell people it's always a function of supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
So I don't care what month of the year it is. It is pretty flat throughout the year, but I always look at how much competition is out there. So the month of December, I believe, I don't know, we closed maybe as a market, maybe 2,000 transactions in the month of December. So buyers are going to be here. There's just no inventory out there. So unless you're in a community or you own a condo where there's a lot of competition in that condo building, I don't care what time of year it is. I always look at, okay, what's the competition? What's the likelihood of me being able to sell at the highest price possible? And that's when I hit the market. And right now, I haven't seen a better market than what we're seeing right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, right now it's not a matter of like whether or not we can sell it. That the conversation is not, can you sell it? Like, you don't need us to sell your property. There's many agents. There's 4,000 plus agents that can all sell it if they get it in the MLS. The key is like, who's going to be able to maximize your sales price, negotiate the better deal to make sure that we protect your equity and you net the most money in your pocket. So it's not a game of like choosing an agent that can sell. It's about choosing an agent that has a track record for being able to negotiate the highest price for their sellers to make sure that they're maximizing the net that the seller takes from the closing table. Why don't you just share with us the numbers? Let's talk about some data.
Yeah, I'll pop that up on the screen. There's not a whole lot of change when it comes to single family homes. It's kind of, boring as far as talking about numbers, because it's kind of flat.
Yes.
So 65% of all homes is still under contract. That's kind of been around the range for a long time now, for multiple months. So it hasn't softened up. I'm getting a lot of people asking me, hey, has the market changed? I'm hearing things, I'm seeing things on the news. Has the market changed? It's still a really hot market. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So 65% of all single family homes are under contract. Looking at the new construction, it's just under 70%. Not quite as hot as it was in April and May of this year, right, when it comes to single family homes, but by all means, still incredibly hot seller's market still. Resale homes, just under 60%. Not a whole lot of options out there. So if you're thinking about selling your home, this is a good opportunity right now to jump on the market and really get a good price, because buyers do not have many options.
Has that number softened any? It's just, it softened a little bit, right? So, so there is a little bit more inventory creeping onto the market, or I shouldn't even say creeping onto the market, sitting on the market, because I don't think the number of new listings is necessarily growing that much. I think that the fact that it might take a little bit longer to get a property sold, so it sits there, and we're starting to see that in inventory levels, but nothing that's changing prices by any means.
Yeah, and to put that in perspective, when you say softening, you're looking at what the craziest time of the year was, right? Which was back in April and May. I think we peaked at, maybe when it comes to resale homes, maybe around 69% was the number. So now it's dropped down to 59%, but it's really hovered around now 57 to 59% for 3 months now, 3 or 4 months. It's just right in line. So inventory has not really increased, right, which really surprises me. So new homes are hitting the market. They're selling quickly. The ones that are sitting on the market, like the inventory that's out there right now, it's just homes that are just overpriced. You got some sellers out there just trying to really test the market and go with higher prices. And believe it or not, there are homes that aren't selling. Yeah, it's mainly a function of that, just trying to get too aggressive in their price. But it's still super hot. Now, condos is a whole other story. Condos, all of a sudden, since homes flattened out the last 3 months, all of a sudden we're seeing condos take off the last 3 months or so, especially on the oceanfront side. So when you look at overall condos, 73% of those are under contract right now. Overall condos, the ones on the oceanfront, off the oceanfront, it's 76%.
Yeah.
So that you're talking what 150, 270 condos off the oceanfront that are available for sale. And now all of a sudden the oceanfront condos have caught fire. Uh, 68%.
Yeah.
That number is the highest we've seen so far. That's the highest number we've ever had.
Yeah, I was looking in a building the other day that I'm used to seeing 10 to 15 units for sale, and there were 4. And this is kind of one of those buildings that always has multiple units, and now there's 3 or 4 units available. So it's extraordinary. And the other thing on the previous screen on the non-ocean fronts is, I think people what we all need to understand and recognize is that housing prices have increased so much that people are taking some of those off the ocean condos and using them for primary residences. And so that's usually those buyers are buying single family homes. So some of those people are gravitating towards those other off the ocean type of condo products.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's driving the sales on the off the ocean front. But there's a lot of investors buying the ocean front though too.
Yeah.
And now there's only 210 condos on the market right now on the ocean front.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a ridiculously low number.
Yeah, we're used to thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're talking, I mean, we're used to numbers well over 1,000, and now we're talking 200. So, I tell you, it's sometimes this becomes one of the more challenging real estate markets. Again, it's not about can we sell it? It's a matter of like maximizing one's sales price. But from the buyer standpoint, the buyers are really frustrated. I mean, I just got a message from a buyer earlier today that says, gosh, we're really getting discouraged. Every time we see a property come to the market, it tends to be sold before we can get to it. And we hear that over and over and over again, unfortunately.
Yeah. And the interesting thing as far as condos, Greg, goes, especially the oceanfront, there's been a lot of changes the last 60 to 90 days. So there's a lot of people out there that own condos that don't have a clue that their condo appreciated 20% over the last 90 days.
Yes.
So if you've had condos, like there's even condos where they've actually surpassed what they were priced at back in the real estate bubble of 05, 6, and 7. Yeah. There's some condos on the oceanfront that actually surpassed those, not across the board. I mean, but significant increase over the last 90 days in ocean condos. So if you have not kept in the loop of what's happening, give us a call. We'll gladly let you know what it's worth right now. But there's a significant change over the last 60, 90 days as far as condo prices on the oceanfront.
What's going on? Yeah. What's going on with the land now?
So land up a little bit. So 23%, but again, hovering anywhere between 21 to 23%. Nothing earth shattering, but another little push towards land over the last couple of weeks. So that's 23% of those are under contract right now. So pretty stable across the board. Homes, land stable, condos now all of a sudden heating up because inventory has gotten so low, so it's driving the prices up on the condo side now.
Yeah, and I tell you, I haven't seen numbers on this. It'd be interesting to find some numbers, but overall, let's just talk about traffic on the roads. Mm-hmm. I have been here all my life, and you've been here for quite a long time also. And I can just remember like when, at night during November, it just seems like our town was a ghost town. There's some local traffic here and there. But when we look at it now, it's like every week, not just the weekends, every week, just the traffic just seems to continue to increase. And that just tells us things that, hey, look, there's a lot of people moving down here still. You look at like storage facilities. There's been storage facilities being built everywhere. Why? Because there's more people in our area. So we're just experiencing a lot of growth as a local economy, as a local population. And so we think that the real estate market's going to be good for a while. Mm-hmm. Will we see higher interest rates someday in the near future? Probably. Will that slow the market down a little bit? Probably a little bit. Do we see a crash? No. Are there foreclosures hitting the market? Not really. Are there short sales hitting the market because of the forbearance issues? Not really. So right now, things still look strong. We don't really see a lot of indicators or any indicators that tell us that this is going to reverse. Only thing I personally am really focusing on is interest rates, because we do know when they tick up just a little bit, it changes the game pretty quickly. But inventory levels are so low, we don't see that even that would crash the market by any means. Could slow it down a little bit, but I don't have a crystal ball. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, before we even start thinking about a correction or a crash or anything, we've got to see inventory go up.
Yes, that's
Yes, I
right.
think the first sign is going to be the interest rates. If those continue to go up, we could start seeing inventory start to go up. And then once inventory goes up, it gets to a certain level, then that could reverse going from a seller's market to a buyer's market. But we're so low right now in inventory, it's going to take a while before we even like get a whiff of a buyer's market.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
see
and
that.
we're trying to build it. We're hoping the builders will just keep building more and more, but they seem to, still not be able to keep up. But I am seeing, I feel like I can drive around the county and I see a lot of land being cleared. So we know that those builders recognize the opportunity themselves and going to do everything they can to pour inventory into the market, which will be helpful. Okay, Abe. Well, hey, for those of you that are watching, we sure do appreciate you tuning in, and we hope that you see us as a resource for all things real estate in this local market. If you'd like any information, like us to help you out in any way, help you with buying, selling, or just give you some advice as to what's going on in your local community or a home like yours, feel free to reach out. There's our cell number right there. You can communicate with us anytime. All right, Abe.
All right, Greg, enjoyed it.
Talk
Thank
to
you
you
all for
soon.
watching. Yeah.
Bye bye.